What's up, peeps? Nick Battle, aka NinosCorner, man. First off, if you like this content that's coming your way, hit that subscribe button. Go give me a like and comment on all the videos, man. It means a lot. And if you listen to this in the podcast, go give me a like, a comment, 5-star review. Helps out a bunch, man. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. But you guys know today we're going to talk about the Game 5 recap, Week 5 recap, Texas versus TCU, man. Hey, this was an ugly win, but like Coach Sark said, I would rather win ugly than to lose pretty, right? So just to start off, man, these numbers when I compiled them last night, they're very similar. The Texas offense, TCU offense, very similar. Texas defense, TCU defense are very similar. The stats came up pretty like identical, which basically showcases why this was a 5-point game. But Texas fans, we cannot get mad at this, man. We cannot get mad at this. We went into TCU, a place that we were 2-7 over the last 9 times, and we won on the road. That's something that we haven't done in a very long time here at Texas. So, great game. I think the difference in the game was Bijan Robinson, man. Bijan's that guy. The difference is Texas gave Bijan Robinson 37, actually 39 attempts. He had 2 catches, 4 targets, but he had 35 rushes, 4 targets, 2 catches. So 37 times he had the ball in his hands, 39 times Texas tried to get in the ball. That was the difference. Getting Bijan the ball and TCU not getting Zach Evans the ball. Zach Evans, when he did run the ball, was very efficient. He gutted the Texas defense, just from the first drive on, standing up, Luke basically going into the touchdown, in the end zone. So Zach Evans versus Bijan Robinson. Texas showcased their guy, which is Bijan Robinson, and it seems like TCU did not showcase Zach Evans like they should have. Something about Dugan, man, when he plays against us at the quarterback position, once he plays against us, he just like rises to a certain standards. Like he's very sneaky with his legs. People don't give him enough credit for his actual running ability, but he is very sneaky. He's a fast guy, very quick twitch, but he had a pretty decent game as well. But Zach Evans torched us, but TCU didn't. They did not exploit that. Texas did exploit TCU not being able to stop the run, evident by Bijan Robinson having those 35 uh, carries for 216 yards rushing, another 2 catches for, I guess, 22 yards or so. So, yeah, let's just get into the metrics, man. Let's talk about the NCM metrics, man. And we're going to just jump into it when it comes to the running back position. Let's talk about Bijan Robinson, man. So, Nino's corner number rushing, NCN rushing, he had 73.08. Very efficient, very, very good game. Guys, you guys know, you guys are with me here from the beginning. You know that the NCN average for an offensive skill player is 40 points. Bijan's at 73. So 73 for this game. Truly amazing. 35 attempts, 216 yards, 6.17 yards per carry. Guys, he had 12 first downs on those 35 attempts, meaning his first down per attempt was 34%. So, like I say, guys, you want your running back to have a first down per attempt number at least 33%. 33% means every 3 downs. And, every 3 touches that he gets the ball is a first down. So if I go first down, second down, third down, this guy's at least getting me enough yards in the first 3 downs to get a first down. 25% is great also. That means, hey, I can give this guy the ball 4 times in a row and we're going to get first downs, right? But you want it on that 33% range or better. And that's what Bijan gave us, 34%. Truly amazing. 2 touchdowns. Bijan had 3 explosive plays, guys. So his XP rate was 9%, so 8.57%. So 9% XP rate. So which is really good. And his successful play rate, guys, his SP rate, 18 successful plays out of those 35 plays. He had an SP rate, guys, of 51%, which is truly good. So no fumbles. Good. Bijan also had 4 targets, 2 catches. 22 yards, 1 first down, guys, 1 explosive play. And I think both of his plays were successful plays. No, yeah, both of his catches were successful plays. Bijan had a hell of a game, guys. You're talking about somebody, guys. Every time you see Bijan rush the ball, just glue your eyes to the TV screen, man, because he's only going to be here for another year. And yeah, you're watching something very special. You're seeing a player who Once it's all said and done, if he continues on this same path, this is a guy that we're going to be talking about when it comes talking about Jamal Charles and the Cedric Bensons, the Rickies and the Earls, the Deontay Foreman, who's somebody that people love to forget. He's a Doak Walker Award winner who carried this team, for a complete season. So you're looking at he's going to be in that ilk of a player. So he's already becoming like a folklore, like a legend here, guys. And it is great to see Bijan do his thing now. He's a true sophomore, and hey, you got to give it to Sark, man. He knows who his playmaker is on the offense. It's Bijan. And it's almost like he's been saving them for a game like this. Bijan has not really gotten worn out, right? He hasn't carried a ton this whole season until this game. So kudos to Sark for knowing exactly when he needs to use his guys, knowing the pulse of the game, knowing when to use your players. And Bijan was one of those guys that we had to use. There was only one other running back that got some rushing attempts yesterday, and there was Roshan Johnson. Roshan, 7 attempts, 22 yards, 3.15, well, actually 3.14 yards per attempt. NCN rushing guys at 35.58, so just slightly below the NCAA average when it comes to the NCN number for rushing attempts. He had 1 first down on those 7 attempts, guys, so a 14% first down per attempt rate. No explosive plays, but 3 successful plays, so 43% SP per attempt. But where Roshan has really been good catching the ball out of the backfield. He only had 1 target this week, though, so he had an NCN receiving of 67.88, but on a small sample size. So 1 target, 1 reception. That 1 reception went for 8 yards, and it was a first down. Not an explosive play because it wasn't 15 yards or more, but it was an SP, which is a successful play. But what you see Roshan do, guys, I love to see Roshan play because he does all the little things that make the team churn and make the team do great things. So Roshan had a good all around game, but we all know who the star of the game was today, and that was Bijan Robinson. Let's go down to the receivers now, man. So on the receiving side of the house, Jordan Whittington was our guy. 3 targets, guys, 3 receptions, an NCN receiving of 140.08. Truly amazing. 79 yards, 26.33 yards per target, 26.33 yards per reception because, hey, he had the same, he had 100% catch percentage, right? So he had 3 first downs, so 100% first down per target. 2 explosive plays, so 67% XP rate, and 3 successful plays, guys. So 100% successful play per target. Jordan Whittington had that touchdown. That was a great play. Seeing him in high school, he's one of those guys that played all over the field. Running back, he played some safety, he played some wide receiver. He was the guy at his high school. But he kind of reminds me, I'm not saying he's Devin Duvernay, but he's Devin Duvernay-ish. And I've said this before, I think after the first game of the season. When he gets the ball in his hands, Jordan Whittington is like a running back. He goes from a wide receiver to a running back, meaning that he looks for contact. He's very strong in his legs, and it's hard to bring him down. And that was a hell of a catch when Casey threw that dime to him, where he actually jumped up to get the ball, climbed over a defender's back, and got the ball. Hell of a catch by Jordan Whittington, man. Next guy on the list, guys, let's talk about Josh Moore. He had 4 targets, 3 receptions, an NCN receiving number of 14.75. Not the best game, but let's not get on him for what he didn't do. Let's get on him for he's going to hit a deep shot here. Like Jordan Whittington had a shot that could have been 6 points. Casey just barely missed him, guys. Barely missed, Josh Moore on a play. I think it was the first play of the game. I mean, he barely missed him. So, hey, Josh Moore is going to get his time to shine. He is almost there, man. He's going to break loose. He's going to break loose for one of these games. And we're going to be like, that's the Josh Moore that we're used to seeing. But he had no first downs, no explosive plays, no successful plays. That's why his NCN number is low. But Josh Moore is going to get a deep play, guys. Mark my word. It's probably going to be next game against OU, and that's when we're going to need it. Next person on the list, guys, that got a reception, Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy had 5 targets, 1 reception, but he had 2 drops. So his NCN number was minus negative 36.14, mainly because of those two drops, guys. Hey, you can't have drops when it comes time to be a wide receiver. So that one catch was not explosive. It wasn't a first down, and I don't think it was. It was a successful play. But one thing we got to understand about Worthy, yes, he did not have the best game, but he didn't have the best game in a win. And so these are teachable moments that Coach Sarkisian, that Andre Coleman can have with him to show, hey, we won the game, but we won the game in spite of you doing X, Y, and Z. The first time I ever seen, like Coach Sark kind of rip somebody on the sideline, I think Coleman was there as well. It looks like he missed the block when Casey was going in to try to rush for a touchdown, and he came down to the sideline, and Coach kind of ripped into him. But hey, these are teachable moments. Let's get them ready. We all know freshmen have this wall, right? Freshmen do have this wall to where, they're going to meet this wall, and they're not going to progress as much as you would think they should, at a certain point. But let's hope he busts through this wall this week and is ready to go for next week. The next guy on the list I want to talk about, I don't have a card made up for him, but it's Marcus Washington. He had 2 targets, no receptions. Okay, so a negative 3.59 NCM receiving. But guys, don't look at that number and say that Marcus Washington did not have a good game. You go back and look at the tape of Marcus Washington. I put a message up on my Twitter page, and I basically added his father, on it, basically saying that Marcus Washington has been doing all the selfless things that you need on this team. A hell of a blocker. Anytime you see Bijan springing for a big time rush, or Roshan getting a big rush, or if Jay Witt gets a catch and is running, who is beside those guys making those hell of a blocks? That is Marcus Washington. Marcus Washington has fed in. He's bought into the team, and it looks like this team has bought in. They're all in on Coach Sark. Let's hope that this keeps going and manifests as something much greater this season. Hopefully, Texas can go in and play a hell of a game next week against OU. But Marcus Washington has definitely been one of those guys who has bought into this team. You can tell he is a selfless guy, and his time's coming. His time's coming. Having those moments to where you're putting out a bunch of film where you are, no kidding, blocking somebody down the field. There's going to be some times where people are going to think that you're going to be blocking, and he slips out for a hell of a catch for a touchdown. It's going to happen. Just glad to see that he is a vital part of this team. Now, one thing I do want to say, Texas had 4 wide receivers have targets, and 3 running backs have targets. Let's talk about Keelan. Keelan had 2 targets, 2 receptions, 13 yards, 1 first down, no explosive plays. And if I'm not mistaken, one of those plays was successful NCN receiving for Keelan, 44.88. But he had no, attempts when it came to rushing the ball. But Keelan's been something that has been very necessary for this team. Like I always say, guys, he has a different gear that when he kicks it in, it is a wrap. I love his speed. But in saying that, guys, when you look at Coach Sark's rotation, you got 4 wide receivers that got targets this game. And it's been like that the whole season. So he likes the continuity with his receivers and his quarterback. He likes his guys to understand that they are going to know where Casey's going to throw the ball. He likes Casey to understand that he is going to know where his wide receivers are going to be on certain plays. You don't see a lot of substitutions when it comes to the wide receiver. Coach likes the continuity that he has with this team. I absolutely love it. Same thing with the running back position. Tight game, 2 guys rushed the ball, and those 2 guys were Roshan and Keelan. Not Keelan, Roshan and Bijan, not Keelan. Keelan actually has some receptions, but he did play in the game. But he tightens up that rotation, almost like in basketball, right? You might put a bunch of people in throughout the season, but once you get into the playoffs, and I say the playoffs are like conference play for college football, you shorten up that rotation. You play the guys who are going to be the guys who are going to be the stars of that team, the guys that are going to make those plays. And that's what Coach Sarkisian's been doing. So kudos to him for having a 4-1 start to this team. And I think in previous years, those might have been games that we would have probably lost. But it's good to get a win on the road against TCU, the Purple Monster. Yeah. Let's go into the Texas offense and TCU offensive stats when it comes to the NCN number. And NCN number for the game, Texas offense 57.4. Like I say, 40 points is the NCAA average. And TCU was very similar, guys, 58.7. Yeah. So once you take a look at that and you see, like, oh man, yeah, they were very similar. Yes, they were very similar. I mean, very similar. The difference is, uh, there is no difference. The difference is key is Bijan Robinson versus Zach Evans. Texas leaned on their workhorse, and TCU did not lean on their workhorse, and I think that ended up being the difference in the game. TCU had 3 turnovers in that game, only led to 9 points from Texas, and Texas has to capitalize on that and get 7 points instead of 3 when they're going down there, especially as deep as they were in TCU territory. But TCU's defense played stout. They played really good at the line when it came to actually taking on Texas when they got those stops and those turnovers. But Texas, they kind of prevailed in this game. They won the game, but the offenses were very similar. Like I say, 57.4 for Texas, 58.7 for TCU. Defensive side of the ball, both teams, to be honest with you, they kind of underachieved. Texas, I got a 38.2. The average NCN defense for college football is 45 points. Texas had a 38.2. Yes, they had turnovers. Yes, but they gave up a lot of yards. And they gave up a lot of points too. So 27 points. And the TCU defense, on the other hand, a 39.6. And so their defense, per the metrics, was slightly better than Texas is. And I'm not going to say that they were a better defense, but it just goes to show you that neither one of these teams played to the expectations of what we would want to play for a team to have a great game on the defense side of the ball. But these are learning experiences for Texas. Texas didn't play bad on defense. Texas just could have stopped the run a little bit better, which they didn't. Texas could have stopped the pass a little bit better. We had some times where we had TCU backed up pretty good on the third down, and Dugan was basically throwing 17-yard pass here, a 12-yard pass here to get first downs on third down. So those are things that we got to do a little bit better. Let's take a couple look at some metrics, guys. Let's take a look at the quarterback metrics. Dugan didn't play a bad game, guys. So Dugan did not play a bad game. On the rushing side of the house, Casey Thompson rushed better than Dugan, 83% SP rate, and Dugan 43%. Both were still above average. But on the passing side of the ball, Dugan 40%, Casey 33%. Total overall, though, is 43% for Casey, 41% for Dugan. So now that let's take a look at the successful play rate per down. First down, Casey was better on first down, 38 to 33%. Dugan on second down, Dugan was better, 55 to 50%. And on third down, Casey was passing 0% successful play rate on third down. Dugan was 25%. So we're kind of splitting hairs here. These guys were basically even when it comes to passing the ball during this game. These are things that we got to see cleaned up here in the next game. But hey, Casey didn't play his best game. He didn't. But we still won the game. We still won the game, and we probably played a C+ game. So one thing that we have to look at as Texas and as Texas fans is we got to understand that every game's not going to be pretty. We're not going to win 70-35 every game. Some games we're going to win these close games, or 35-27, or just whatever the score is for this game. It was good to have a game to where it was one of those games to where Texas won 30 and we had a slugfest, and it's something that we absolutely needed. And so, another quick metric I want to get into prior to leaving here, guys: explosive play yards. All of Texas's explosive play yards at 187 XP yards. That was 43% of their total yardage count. All of those explosive play yards came on first down. It was kind of interesting. So Texas went big early, and they got them early. And for TCU, their XP yards per down, 151 of their total yards, which equated to 41%, were XP yards, and they got all of those on first and second down. 55 yards on first down, and 96 yards on second down. No XP yards on third down or fourth down. So guys, just to kind of capitalize into or not capitalize, but just kind of recap the game here, guys. Texas is playing OU next week. This was a great win for Texas. Texas was able to get through this game. Texas was able to basically win this game, a tough, hard fought game. This is something that we needed to be battle tested. No pun intended, Nick Battle, right? So had to get battle tested here, and we did. We were battle tested in this game. We ended up coming out victorious in this game. We didn't play the best game from the quarterback position. The offensive line didn't play the best position as their best game as well. But we got somebody who can clean up a little bit of that damage. His name is Bijan Robinson. He had a hell of a game. Casey made plays when he needed to, and Casey, he was semi-decisive when it came to running. There were a couple plays Casey could have ran, but hey, I think Casey's going to be ready for next week. I think this team's going to be ready for next week, but so is OU. So it's going to be a great game. I can't wait to see what's going to happen here. I'm excited about it. So on that note, guys, man, I want to tell you guys to do you, man. Like I always say, right there in the head, do you. Don't be afraid to fail. Outgrow your environment. Understand your brilliance, man. And on that note, NinosCorner, I'm out. Hug them all day long. Beat OU. Red River Shootout. We don't call it the rivalry. It's the Red River Shootout. And great win by the Longhorns, man. Way to go get a gritty win. Way to just make your presence felt. And it's time for Texas to make people start respecting them. And Coach Sark has done a great job of getting this team ready and up for every challenge that has been put in front of them since the Arkansas game. And it is good to see that this team is responding. And you see this team is playing for each other. And I totally love it. And this is the best we've seen this team play in a long time. And Coach Sark is using his talented players when he has to use them. And he knows how to shorten up that rotation and make sure that the guys who need to get the ball get the ball. Let's see how everything, actually rolls out next week. Xavier Worthy, I'm expecting him to have a bounce back game. Casey's going to have a good game. He knows what this game means. His dad was a quarterback for OU. Now he is the quarterback for Texas. So he's grown up watching this game his whole life. He understands the magnitude of this game. The guys who have played in this game over the years that are Texas residents, they understand the magnitude of this game. So I don't think anybody's going to be sleepwalking in this game. It's going to be a great game. Defense has to bring it. Defensive line has to get pressure here in this game. That's something that we haven't done here since the first game of the season. But the defensive line, the first game and the Texas Tech game, but the defensive line has to get some pressure. Our defensive backs have to play better, which they did play better yesterday. Darian Dunn is somebody who I like. He's physical. Anthony Cook, man, Anthony Cook is a baller. He's playing lights out in that star position where he is the nickelback, and he's doing a great job at it. Can't wait to get Josh Thompson back next week. The humble beast, and Jameson had a quietly good game yesterday. Anytime you don't hear a DB's name, that means that they had a good game, and because that means that people aren't getting a bunch of catches on them. But it's good to have a guy like Jameson back there who understands that, hey, they're going to make a play every now and then, but let's just regroup, have a short-term memory. It makes some things happen. Special teams played after the first blunder, after the first play of the game, where Kansas State, where TCU brought the ball back with 87 yards. After that first play, Texas's special teams calmed themselves down. Shark had a couple really good kickoff returns, and the team settled themselves down in special teams and had a pretty good complete special teams day minus the first play of the game. So it's going to take all three phases next week to win this game. Special teams has to be on point. Offense has to be on point, and defense, especially the defensive line, has to be on point. So we shall see. So more things to come on that, man. Good seeing you guys, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Go like, go subscribe, go comment, hit that like button. It means a lot, man. Helps grow the channel. But like I said, guys, on that note, man, I'm out. Do you. Don't be afraid to fail. Grow your environment. Understand your brilliance, man. I'm out.